Big surprise.
Okay. Let's call to order the regular city council meeting of January 20th, 2026. We call the roll, please.
Barrow,
Yes.
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Hugie,
Yes.
Kurt,
Yes.
Peppelmeyer,
Yes.
Sun,
Yes.
Barthes. Yes.
Let's stand for the pledge. Before we head right into committee of the whole, we have a couple of items. The first is our proclamation that I'll read out, and then would you like to come up to the podium and speak first, or do you want to do it after? You do it after? Okay. But come on up while I read it to you. Okay. Of course.
I don't know if I can do it without her.
This is a proclamation recognizing Dino and Yana, let's see if I can do it, Yaku Methis. Got it. For their 34 years of business in the city of Maumee. So whereas the city of Maumee proudly recognizes Dino and Yana, the owners of Dino's Restaurant, for 34 years of business in the Maumee community, and whereas in April 1992, Dino and Yana opened Dino's Restaurant at 130 West Wayne Street, establishing a warm and welcoming gathering place for residents and visitors alike. Then, in April of 1997, they moved the restaurant to its current location at 129 Golden Gate, where it became a beloved landmark on the corner of the Anthony Wayne Trail and Gibb Street. And whereas for 34 years, Dino's Restaurant has served the Maumee community with delicious breakfasts, lunches, and dinners, always offered with a smile, a kind word, and the unmistakable feeling that every guest was not just a customer, but a member of the Dino's family. And whereas Dino's Restaurant proudly employed a dedicated staff of individuals for more than 3 decades, contributing to the local economy and fostering a workplace rooted in loyalty, teamwork, and genuine care. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Chelsea Ziss, Mayor, do hereby proclaim January 20th, 2026 as Dino's Restaurant Day in the city of Maumee, Lucas County, Ohio, for its extraordinary 34 years of service to the Maumee community, its legacy of kindness and connection, and its lasting impact on all who had the pleasure of walking through its doors.
Wow. I did a lot. First order of business, I would like to say, man, we've been here for a while. Harry Barlos, Steve Pauken, Timmy Wagner, Rich Icard, Jimmy Mack, Jim McDonald, and now you. Congratulations to all of you. I would like to say thank you and several administrators and fire chiefs and police chiefs. But I would like to say a big, huge thank you to the citizens of Maumee for supporting us for all those many years. I would like to thank not only you, City Council and Mayor, but I would like to thank all the previous ones as well, because we have had nothing but good anytime we dealt with the city. And I appreciate that so very much. And again, thank you to you guys. Thank you to our staff, our customers of all those many years. But the person that I want to thank the most, because without her, it would not have happened. And that's it.
Thank you.
And I would like to thank each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart. And I hope everybody that has supported us throughout these years, that I really, truly thank you all very much. But there is one thing that I will be very, very remiss if I don't do. And that is to let everybody know right here, right now, Dino's is not dead. What happens is when something crashes and burns, there is always a phoenix that comes out. And I'd like to introduce you right now to Xavier Rosario, who is going to be the next owner of Dino's Restaurant. Thank you very much, too. And I wish him all the best. And I hope that you, all of you, give him the same courtesies that you guys have extended to me. And I want to, again, thank you all very, very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I will be very remiss, but I told this to Chelsea the other day when she was at the restaurant with a group of people. And I said, you know, I don't care what your politics are. I don't care Republican, Democrat, liberal, conservative, or anything in the middle. The one thing that I wish for all of you to do is have the good intentions of the city and the people of the city in your hearts and act on that. So, thank you.
Thank you, Dino.
Thank you.
And Yana.
Got the camera back.
So I don't have to quit dining and dashing.
There you go. Dino's. No kidding.
See you soon.
All right. Yeah, right.
Hey, we running around today. Okay, next on the agenda for that is our graduation presentation from the Environmental and Tree Committee for attending the Tree Academy, discussing Maumee's past, present, and future tree canopy goals.
Good evening. My name is Bill Burry. Good evening to our mayor, our council people, and citizens of Maumee. My name is Bill Burry. I'm with the Environmental and Tree Advisory Commission. And
I'm Jamie Dye.
And the three of us are going to show you the presentation that we are making to the Tree Academy that we are graduating from. Now it's going to be in, depending on the weather, sometime in the spring. There we go. All right. Okay. Pre-selection. In the past, selection seemed for street trees seemed to be based on the popularity of certain species in the nursery business. Examples would be crab apples, calorie pears, and these were very popular because of the spring showing of these trees. But the problem with them was that they have a very short lifespan for being street trees, and also they're invasive species. The management, purchasing, and planting of trees was always based with the service departments in the past. And their role was purchasing and planting those roles were switched in the early 20s to the tree specialist, and the planting was contracted out to contractors who specialized in the ODNR specifications for planting trees. Our canopy is approximately in the 20% range, in the low 20% range. We have lost 30% of our total canopy over the last 20 years, and a lot of this is caused by trees taken out and no trees put back in, and that was in the past. I will get this, hold on. Is that mine? Okay, yes. In 2023, the Tree Commission and the Environmental Commission were combined into the Environmental Tree Advisory Committee so that together they could work on shared ideas. The tree canopy replenishment was initiated in 2021 with 175 trees. In 2022, that number was increased to 432 trees. In 23, it grew to 671. In 24, an additional 849 trees were put in the ground, totaling in that period of time 2,127 trees. Now, that does not include the 700 trees that ODOT put along the Anthony Wayne Trail for us. Now, Jamie Dye, a member of the commission, will take over and talk about the present.
Hi, I'm Jamie. As Bill said, I'm going to give a brief overview of what we accomplished in 2025. 2025 was a busy and pivotal year for the Maumee Environmental and Tree Advisory Commission. We began the year by welcoming 2 new members and quickly got to work. The 3 of us attended Tree Commission Academy, which helped guide much of what we accomplished this year. In total, about 1,500 public trees were planted throughout Maumee. In April, in partnership with North Branch Nursery, Maumee Promo, and the Andersons, we launched the first phase of a Miyawaki mini forest project in celebration of Earth Day. About 200 trees and shrubs were planted in this first phase. Once established, the site will help reduce noise from the turnpike, improve air quality, support pollinators, and better manage stormwater, an important goal for Maumee. That same month, we also celebrated Arbor Day with the planting of a redbud alley at the historic Wolcott House. Another major focus this year was our street tree planting design. This plan assigned specific tree species to each block in the city based on site constraints and growing conditions. The on-site work was completed in 2024, and the plan was presented to City Council in January of 25. All street tree purchases this past year were coordinated using that design, giving us a strong framework for long-term planning, improved canopy growth, and better tree selection for each location. Through our education at the Tree Commission Academy, we also recognized the need to adjust Maumee's path forward. We met with our ODNR reps to review both the commission ordinance and the city's tree ordinance and undertook a significant update of both. The revised commission ordinance is scheduled for a final reading tonight, and the updated tree ordinance has been sent to the law director, with a first reading expected soon. Finally, in December, we met with city staff to review our urban forest management schedule and the 2026 budget. While Maumee has invested heavily in planting, we recognize that healthy urban forests require more than planting alone. They require long-term care, planning, and stewardship. With that, I'll turn it over to Margot to discuss the future of urban forestry in Maumee.
Thank you. I'm Margot, and I will be talking a little bit more about what we will be doing moving forward, starting in 2026. So Jamie mentioned how we got the street tree master design plan completed with all our on-site work and data collection. And we got large canopy trees assigned to those segments within the city. Well, we're now going to start working on creating an Excel document that has all that information transcribed into a list format. But then at the same time, we're going to be choosing complementary medium and small canopy trees because on either side of any given street, you might have power lines or smaller sections between the sidewalk and the road that need to have smaller canopy trees. We are getting a new member to our Environmental and Tree Advisory Commission, and we have 2 new council reps, Isaiah and Scott. And we will be having our first meeting of 2026 this coming Thursday. As a part of, as a graphic designer, these things, the formatting all got switched, so I apologize for that. It's making me crazy right now. So every commission member will be getting a copy of the recommended Arbor Day Foundation tree board handbook that was suggested and talked about in our Tree Academy classes. And we will also, so we're going to be looking through that and using that as a guide moving forward. We are also going to be working on a welcome binder for all committee members, and this will include things like membership expectations, our commission ordinance, our tree ordinance. This book, we're going to be working on an urban forest management schedule. We started that this year. And we met with staff, and we're going to be consistently kind of checking in over the course of the year with staff to kind of make sure we're staying on point. And that will also drive our agendas for Environmental and Tree Academy or Environmental and Tree Commission meetings. We're going to also create a budget template for annual planning to ensure we're staying consistent with the type of things we'll need to spend money on. So with the class, we were also introduced to this graphic that ODNR uses to list in order kind of the things you should be considering with your tree canopy. And they really hit home that, planning and risk mitigation are 2 huge things that need to be consistently taken care of. In the past few years, we have not been doing that as much as we have been planting. So within that class, it talked about how in different years, your kind of percentage of budget and your focus needs to change based on wherever you're at now. So we're at now, we've been doing a lot of planning recently. We are switching to focusing on more of risk mitigation, young tree training, and mature tree pruning moving forward. But then also taking care of the trees that we did plant by making sure we're continuing to water, mulch, and protect those newly planted trees, because I'm sure a lot of you have noticed, I know I have, the deer have been up kind of wreaking havoc on some of the trees. So we need to make sure we're still protecting them. But with that being said, we don't want to completely fall off it and not be doing any planting. So the next few years, we are going to focus on making sure we're planting 2 trees with every mature tree removal, which is always a main goal that every city is talking about for the Tree City USA Awards that happen in May, which we will be hosting this year. It's every city's goal to make sure that they're not taking away more trees than what they're planting, which, as Bill said, we obviously have been doing up until now, until recently. So then we will also, our goal is to, plant residential requests, so requests that residents want trees planted at their house along their street, but then also continue to progress with the invasive species removal, as we started last year with getting rid of some of the tree of heaven, as we got a lot of spotted lanternflies last year, and it's going to be insane this year. I can only imagine. And I think that's it. So thank you very much. The Tree Academy Commission was a big learning experience for us. We really thank you guys for letting us do that. That is our main focus and goal, to make sure that is driving all of our steps moving forward. If anyone has any questions or wants to learn more, you can do it now. We also have our meeting on Thursday you can go to, but yes, Gabe?
Yeah, I'm familiar with the committee. Matt was on it for a while. You started with a 30% deficit on the canopy,
Yeah.
and now we're at 20. The last several years, we've planted an awful lot of trees. Can that be, I know we're at 20% now, but what percentage do you think of that was the impact that when we really focused on that program of planting trees and having developers make trees part of their developmental agreement?
I can't tell you that off the top of my head. I know that we are focused to get to where we thought we needed to be, if I'm remembering correctly, and Gabe, you might too. I remember being mentioned, we need to plant like 2,000 trees a year for 10 years. So, I mean, we like started to make a dent, but we're nowhere near reaching that number.
Yeah.
It's just the main thing that we have been taught is that, you know, if we don't take care of the risk mitigation and taking care of your kind of existing mature trees, it causes way more kind of problems down the road. It's a lot more expensive. So we're just trying to kind of ramp that up before then, still working on the tree canopy, because we're going to make sure we don't
Yeah, sure.
lose any strides we've made with that, but get everything kind of under control and then move on. So I don't know. I mean, we could try to figure it out.
You have to wait for the next topical.
Yeah, survey.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep. Anyone else? Well, we will be having our meeting on Thursday. Obviously, y'all are welcome to attend. And we plan to do an annual presentation to council from now on. That's another thing that is kind of encouraged. So it was, I don't know about these guys, but I know we learned a lot. It's nice to see all the things that, you know, we should be taking care of and having kind of a guidebook, so we don't feel like we're just kind of going on a whim. So, thank you.
Thank you.
It's at 5 on Thursday. Thank you.
It's upstairs.
Oh, upstairs, yeah. So administration conference room, because charter will be in here. Thanks.
Thank you, and congratulations on your graduation.
Yeah.
Maybe at some point. Yeah. Okay. And with that, I will hand it over to our council president, President Sun.
Do we have any discussions or questions coming up for this agenda here? Gabe?
Thank you. I had a question for Jennifer. We're hiring, was it 2 people, Jennifer, or was it just this last one?
Just one.
Okay, thank you. And that's to replace, or was that in addition to?
Replacement, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Council President, I would like to propose tonight that we enact a moratorium on data center development. It's a real complicated, complex issue. I'm not here to say let's build a data center or let's never build a data center. Personally, I'm not sure what we ought to do. And my indecision right now, I think mirrors, not people here necessarily, but mirrors what a lot of people in Maumee feel. Many people want the data center because it will possibly provide a good deal of revenue to the city of Maumee. On the other hand, the citizens of Maumee, I think, are generally not. I shouldn't say that, but a good many of them are opposed to it. The noise and the lights and all that bad stuff, I guess, that goes with it. So what I'd like to do is propose that we enter a moratorium. And Alan, I'm sure you can't spend the next 5 minutes drafting one, but perhaps we could formally introduce one in 2 weeks. And Alan, if we did that in 2 weeks, would that be, could you say it's effective January 20?
February 2nd. You can make it effective whenever you want,
Okay.
and for however long you want, but it's got to be at least, I think I'm trying to look at the council rule too real quick. About drafting ordinances, I think you have to make a motion and then other council members have to vote on that as to whether that should go forward or not, unless it's a request by the mayor.
I would move, therefore, I would have 2 motions. One would be that we, in 2 weeks, or on February 2nd, consider legislation that would enact a moratorium on data centers, and also that we establish either a council committee or a citizens commission that would be, whose sole focus is data centers. You know, I don't want to be part of the plan commission or a subcommittee of the finance committee or anything like that. I mean, this is an important thing that we need to focus on it, and so that would be, I guess that would be two motions, Alan. Mayor, is that correct?
You'd have to do two separate motions,
Separate,
correct?
okay. First, I would move that we, and tell me if I'm stating this correctly, Alan, please, that we direct you to draft a resolution that would impose a moratorium on data center development that we would consider at our next meeting, and that it would be effective today, January 20.
Oh, it couldn't be retroactive now.
Retroactive, yeah.
It couldn't be retroactive.
Oh, it cannot be retroactive? Okay.
No.
Right. So that's my motion, minus the retroactive.
And for how long?
I would think 6 months. I think 6 months is generally, 2 years, yeah.
Okay.
I know a lot of people would like 2 years, but those are, we want to have something that's litigation proof. I think 2 years would not be sustained by the courts, and generally around Ohio, I think 6 months generally is. So that would be my motion, that it be a 6-month moratorium, and you know, Alan, that there's a lot more that goes to it than that goes into it than just choosing how long. You have to justify it by enabling council to consider the pros and cons and so forth.
Okay, Councilman Gonzalez.
Please.
Councilman Gonzalez, yeah.
Yeah, I would like to second that, but also, do we go in discussion about that before we vote?
After a second.
After second, yeah, I would second that then.
Okay. Now they'll have some discussion about it. We have a motion on the floor for a 6-month moratorium for data centers.
Yeah, anybody?
Okay, so Ted, just so I'm understanding. So when it comes to, putting, the moratorium on, do you, like, in 2 weeks, I think is absolutely fine to get together with Alan, the law director, to make sure that we have this completely typed out, done the right way, things like that.
Yeah.
So do we really need to have like an item on the agenda and vote to have this done if we don't have everything written up yet? Which, again, I'm awesome with this coming in 2 weeks, but I think let's just get our ducks in a row so that way when it's enacted and everything, there's no legal issues, things like that. That's my thought.
Yeah, there are a whole lot of magic words that have to go into something like this in order to make it, as I said, litigation proof. And Alan, I have some ideas for that, but we could talk about that later. Thank you, Dave.
And it does have to be passed by an ordinance, and this would be how you would direct the law director to start on that legislation. Without the motion for the direction voted in by council or a recommendation for me, then they wouldn't have to.
It can be a resolution.
Yeah, it could also be a
Okay.
resolution.
Councilman Gonzalez.
Yeah, for the moratorium, I actually would want to see it more as 12 months, because as of right now, the state of Ohio is doing a 6 to 9 month study, and we won't have those facts or findings until after that is done to see what we can do in our area, what Middleton Township is doing in Wood County. So if we did 12 months, I think it'd be more appropriate than 6 months, because we still won't have the data back. Now, we can always do another one, but we can always lift it later as well, if we were to find out sooner. But I would prefer to see a 12-month moratorium than a 6.
Councilman Barron.
Thank you, President. Son. Yeah, I was wondering where this is going, Ted, and I like that, and I like the idea of probably extending it because of the study that's being done. There's an awful lot of information out there, and we have to do our due diligence as first and foremost representatives of the city of Maumee, and also what our neighbors, Monclova, and the surrounding areas have to put up with. So for us, and it's moving fast, things are happening every day, even though we don't talk about it. Things are moving and moving and moving towards the group that wants, of course, the data center to happen, and we're just sitting up here like, okay, what do we read next, or what do we see next? Someone on a trip to New Albany, and they have a lot of income coming from here, but it's not just one data center, it's a multitude of data centers there. But, yeah, I'm all for slowing this down, moratorium in it, and getting a really good grip on it. Thank you.
I think, Alan, am I correct that if you enact, say, a 90-day one, you could make it renewable for another 90 or 6 months renewable, which would effectively, could go for 12 months, 6 plus 6. But that's something for the law director to consider. But you're
It can be,
right, Isaiah.
it can be extended, right?
Councilman Papmeyer?
Okay, so what exactly is the motion on the floor?
There's just
I
one
think this
motion.
is correct, to direct the law director to
Okay.
prepare an ordinance to establish a 6-month moratorium. Please?
Guys,
Well, that's my motion, 6 months,
okay.
and a 6-month moratorium on data center development and all the stuff that goes with it around development.
Okay. So we're directing the law director.
I think, is that the way to go, Alan?
Correct.
Thank you.
Councilman Gonzalez?
Yeah, and I would move to amend that to 12 months.
Second.
Who second that?
So we have cascading motions.
May I speak for just a moment on the amendment? I get it, Isaiah, and obviously a lot of, some people would like that. Somebody hollered out 2 years. I would rather, I think, leave it loose, 6 or 12 months, leave it at the discretion of the law director, who could, Alan can look at some of the case law that's been around on these things, and he may advise us, well, geez, a lot of the 12-month, I have no idea, but he may find that a lot of the 12-month ordinances are overturned, and most of the 6 months are not, but if it's 6 plus 6, we would, if 6 is doable, is enforceable, I would rather see it that way. Go ahead. Excuse me.
Councilman Barrow?
Thank you. I like the idea about the 6, so we don't run into that parameters and can be renewed. That's the stronger hand, I think. Not understanding that law.
Councilman Gonzalez?
Yeah, so we're not the only one that's considering or even just passed. So there's other communities that have already passed a 12-month moratorium that's already been done. So we're just not following in line, but going, that's what the status is right now across other communities. So doing a 12-month is what seems to be the right thing to do. As the state, like I said, the state is doing a 6 to 9 month. When their findings come out, it's not going to be right at 9 months. That's how long it's going to take. Then their findings come out a couple months later. So doing it by 12 months is nothing. To me, that's where I see it as.
Yeah, I don't think before the doors, if the data center is built, before the front doors open, I don't think any of us will be on council then, because that'll be 10, 12 years from now. I don't know when. But
Not if the Charter Commission gets their way.
Councilman Hughey?
I was just going to say, along with Councilman Gonzalez, I would push for a 1 year as well. In addition to the research and studies that the state's doing, I think it was just reported this week that the city of Toledo as well is starting to look in it. I really think the communities, all of us, Toledo, the suburbs, surrounding communities, this is a topic we need to work together on. So whether one community or another is doing 6 months or 1 year, I think we need to kind of show a united front in a way as a region that we're giving it enough time, and if it is more time than is needed, we can make changes at that point, but I don't feel that we should necessarily open the door for a chance for something to rush in right away.
I think of the, between both Watervilles, the city of the township, and Monclova, and I forget who did what, but one of them does not have a moratorium in effect. One has a 6-month in effect, and one of the other of the three has a 12-month in effect. And again, I don't know who did what, but
Waterville is 12 months, Lordstown is 6 months, Jerome is 9 months, Washington Township is 90 days, South Bloomfield and Ashfield had a 6-month moratorium, Iron City, looks anywhere from 6 months to 9 months in a year for Monclova, or Waterville, rather.
I really can't imagine a court defeating a year one, but not 6 months. I mean, I think it's getting over technical, and I would support the year.
At this point, we do have the 2 motions on the floor. So,
or Isaiah, you want to split the difference and amend it to 9 months?
You don't.
No, I would not.
All right, well.
that was a good shot, though, I liked it. So which of those motions do we vote on first?
I think Ted's motion first and then.
Ted's motion first, okay. Well, shall we call the roll?
Okay, so this is for the 6-month proposal. Barrow,
No.
Gonzalez,
No.
Nope.
Hughie,
No.
Kurt,
Yes.
Peppelmeyer,
No.
Sund,
No.
Barces.
No.
Well, the original motion that you made was a motion to amend.
Oh, yeah.
So now you'll have to do a new motion.
Yeah, so that I will motion to do a moratorium for 12 months on data centers in the city of Maumee.
I'll second that.
To direct the law director
To direct, oh, sorry, yeah, to direct the law
to
director
have legislation.
to have the legislation for the next council meeting on February 2nd for a 12-month moratorium on data centers. Thank you.
I'll second that.
I'll second. It's
Third,
been
fourth.
seconded.
Rosemary. Okay, this is for 12 months. Barrow,
Yes.
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Hughie,
Yes.
Kurt,
Yes.
Peppelmeyer,
Yes.
Sund,
Yes.
Barces.
Yes.
Councilman Barrow?
Thank you, President Sun. And a follow-up question then for Councilman Kurt. You mentioned to assemble a group that is primary purpose is to research this topic.
Yeah, research data centers, issues that arise, get out the old legal pad and draw a line down the middle and what's good, what's not good. But also, at some point, if a development agreement comes our way from a data center developer, I suppose that would be the body, the commission or the committee that would review the development agreement and make a recommendation to council, yea or nay on the agreement. But yes.
Yeah, that would have to go to Municipal Planning Commission.
Okay.
But since there's a moratorium, obviously, nobody's going to submit anything.
Did you learn that in law school? That's good. Yeah, you're right, Alan. That's right.
So are you withdrawing that motion?
I'll withdraw the motion to establish a commission or committee or something. Withdrawn. For now.
I'll second.
You don't have to roll call if you withdrew.
He withdrew it.
Oh.
Yeah.
That-
So, other discussion?
Councilman Poppmeyer?
All right, so I would move that we take item C from the consent calendar regarding the Republic Services and move that into new business so that we can discuss that separately, because it seems like there was some definite talk amongst the community about what our options are.
Would you move that to be C, or would you want to put it in front of the discussion on the council rules?
Let's see. It can be C, that's fine.
Did you say E, Dave?
C.
C.
B isn't,
C is in cat.
okay,
C.
thank you. I can't see, I can't hear, but I have great vision for Maumee.
Is there a second on that?
I'll second.
All righty then.
I'm sorry, who seconded?
I did, yeah.
Let's call the roll.
Barrow,
Yes.
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Hugie,
Yes.
Kurt,
Yes,
Peppelmeyer,
Yes.
Sund,
Yes.
Barces.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I have one more item for the law director to look into, to amend or another ordinance for the sewer program. There is one stipulation in there that I thought was resolved. It was the household income of anyone over the age of 18 that would be applied to the program. So that falls under, I have children that are 18 to 20 years old. They have their address at my house, but they don't live at home. One's military, one's at college, but they would fall under that as it sits right now. So I'd like to amend or to create another ordinance to amend that. However,
It might be best to refer that to a committee. That's
oh yeah, so
technically a
yeah,
policy.
then I'll refer it to that'd be the finance committee, I would think, or
Sure.
sure, yeah, I'd refer that to the finance committee for the next meeting.
Second.
Excellent.
Who seconded that?
Dave.
Okay. Let's call the roll.
Okay, Barrow,
Yes.
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Hugie,
Yes.
Kurt,
yes,
Peppelmeyer,
Yes.
Sund,
Yes.
Barces.
Yes.
Anything else? Guess that concludes the committee of the whole.
Okay. Great. Next, we'll move on to citizen comments. Please do remember it is a 3-minute limit per person, a 2-minute limit if more than 2 people have addressed the same subject, and a 15-minute maximum per subject. Let's start with Richard Maxfield. Come up and tell us who you are and where you're from.
Well, Richard Maxfield, 4979 Lake Breeze Lane, Maumee. You know, we could talk a lot about data centers and all the negative stuff that goes along with it and why the public needs so much data. But my little take on this is I called it the Battle of 67. Exit 67. You drive around 24, come down 23 and go on 24. If you turn that corner and see a data center, what's that going to do to the town of Maumee? Maumee is a quaint little town that's been around for 230 years developing. And it has so much going for it in the way of all along that river. You got the Audubon Nature Park, the new bridge that goes over to it from Towpath Park, Sycut Park, Fallen Timbers Battlefield, Timbers Battlefield, Monument, and these are national places too. And if you think about all this activity that goes on there, it goes up to the bike path, all the way to Oak Openings. That's such a facility, it would be a shame to put that all at jeopardy for the next 200 years by putting some big facility there that, you know, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So I guess that's all I got to say is try to maintain that. It's just such an important field. As far as the mall going in there could be so many recreational things tied to that mall. You got the golf course, you got the bike path, you got the fishing thing, You got all that walking up and back and forth between toll path and side cut. This weekend alone, there's some sort of Metro Parks walk involved in that whole area, but the strength of that to build in the future is so great. So on with the battle of 67. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Maxwell.
Dave, come tell us who you are, where you're from.
He's on a first-name basis.
Famous Dave.
Dave Ross, Trailview Drive, Maumee. So I noticed on number 10 under new business, under A, recommendation for Environmental and Tree Advisory Commission, third reading. And as your third reading basically just says approve ordinance, blah, blah, blah. What I would like to suggest is that when you do these readings and you bring up these ordinance, you give us a synopsis of what the ordinance is at each reading. So when we're out here in the public, we understand exactly what's going on. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Paula, come on down.
Yep.
If you wanted to be on the recording, you got to come on up. All right, you know the drill. Tell us who you are, where you're from.
Okay,
what you
Paula
got.
Jones, Kumler Drive, Maumee. Madam Mayor, council members and all here, and the public. When I received a copy of a contract or an email that talked about our garbage service, I know a lot of contract talks are talked about in private sessions. Okay, I do understand that. But it kind of bothered me that tonight we have the information on our agenda in regards to Republic being brought back in as our garbage service, okay? And even when I read this, I kind of was taken back that it was going to be approved tonight, and we were gung-ho heading into Republic for another 5 years of crappy service. Okay? You kind of look at, yes, I'm hearing that there is an idea of what we're going to spend. I do understand that. But sometimes you get what you pay for. Okay. I'm tired of walking out in the street and picking up the garbage after the garbage men go down our street. I'm tired of missing a week of them not picking up our garbage. I'm tired of them, when you call and ask them to come and get your garbage, that they miss the whole street. The person on the other end of the phone is extremely rude and states what each and every person on that street needs to call. Why? You miss the whole street. Why does somebody have to call? You also look at it, we have recycle bins. We have our trash bins. The garbage man comes down, he picks up the trash, moves up, picks up the recycles, and dumps it all in the same bin. Why am I recycling? Are we paying additional to recycle here in Maumee? And I really think we need to be looking at what Republic has really been doing for us over the past few years. And I really do feel if we want to stay with Republic, this gives us the opportunity to negotiate with them. We should be saying, okay, we want to have maybe once a year of them picking up unlimited garbage. Maybe once a year or all the time when people call, having a pleasant person on the other end. You know, there has to be some negotiation done by the city of Maumee, and also, am I up to 3 minutes
Yep,
already?
you
Okay.
got your
One more
time. Finish
thing.
up your sentence.
And one more thing, I very much agree that the citizens of Maumee need to have input into this also. Thank you.
And John? Oh, just kidding, he said no. He gave up. All right. That concludes our citizen comments. Next, I need a motion for the adoption of the agenda.
I'll move, we adopt the agenda for January 20th
As amended.
As amended.
as amended. Thank you, Al.
I second.
Okay, let's call the roll.
Barrow,
Yes.
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Hugie,
Yes.
Kurt,
Yes.
Puppemeyer,
Yes.
Sund,
Yes.
Barces.
Yes.
Okay, next we have approval of meeting minutes. Does somebody want to do a motion on that?
All right, so I motion to approve the regular minutes of the January 5th, 2026 meeting and special meeting minutes of January 13th, 2026.
I'll second.
I'll second Mr. Puppemeyer.
Barrow,
Yes.
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Hugie,
Yes.
Kurt,
Yes.
Puppemeyer,
Yes.
Sund,
Yes.
Barces.
Yes.
Okay. We have nothing for petitions and communications. Next is the consent calendar. I'll need a motion and a second, and then I'll go through and read them, and we'll discuss them.
I will motion to approve all consent calendar items.
I'll second that. Motion.
Okay, so 9A is a recommendation from the finance director to approve the hiring of Tasha McDonald for the position of administrative assistant in the finance department effective February 2nd, 2026. B is a recommendation from the mayor to authorize the mayor to enter into an agreement with American Fireworks for the annual fireworks display in the amount of $48,750 that will be split with Perrysburg. And item C is gone. Any discussion on those items? Okay, let's call the roll.
Barrow,
Yes.
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Hugie,
Yes.
Kurt,
Yes.
Puppemeyer,
Yes.
Sund,
Yes.
Barces.
Yes.
Okay. Item 10A under new business is a recommendation from the Environmental and Tree Advisory Commission. This is a third reading. Ordinance 39-2025 amends Chapter 184 of the Maumee Codified Ordinances and Ordinance 032-2023, the Environmental and Tree Advisory Commission. We do put the packet online that should have all of the information on those ordinances, but this does clean up some of the language. It extends the, what is it? I already forgot it. The term limits to be the end of the year, and just basically clarifies some of the items that our tree commission does.
Right, add some extra duties to them too.
Yeah, we like to dump a bunch of free work onto them. That's the goal. You're welcome.
I'd move to approve ordinance 039-2025, an ordinance amending Charter 184 of the Maumee Codified Ordinances and Ordinance 032-2023, Environmental and Tree Advisory Commission.
I'll second.
Let's call the roll.
Barrow,
Yes.
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Hugie,
Yes.
Kurt,
Yes.
Puppemeyer,
Yes.
Sund,
Yes.
Barces.
Yes.
Okay. Item B is a recommendation from me, but also a little bit from our law director, too. There are some rules, we have our council rules that actually dictate how we lay out our committees. It lays out how we address people. Right now, I've been joking since I've gotten in, the only legal way to address me is Mr. Mayor in council meetings. So cleaning up some of that language, I believe we sent it out to everyone. Did everybody get a chance to look at some of the suggestions? Do you have any thoughts on any of those going forward?
I have no objections.
I just had one question, and I think I know the answer, but I just wanted a little clarification. Under section P, post adjournment, I just wonder, it mentions citizen of Maumee. The section, I was trying to look it up here real quick. I was just curious what the actual definition is. What is citizen of Maumee? Is it a person with a Maumee address that could be outside of the actual city limits? Or are we specifically referencing just those residents within the city limits?
Isn't it if you can vote? That puts you in the district, or puts you in the city.
I thought it was if you're eligible to vote, not
Right.
that you do, but if you're eligible, yeah.
Yeah, like people live in Waterside, for instance, they have a Maumee, but they're not. They
But
don't pay
people
tax
never
for
the
Maumee.
post office.
And that's kind of what I
So
was
we're- yeah.
referencing. So, exactly, like I know people who live in Waterside, but they don't, the laws and stuff that are put in place for Maumee, the city of Maumee, don't necessarily affect them all the time. So I was just kind of curious if it includes those residents or if we're just looking within the city limits.
Yeah, it's up to council to make that definition. That's why I just put out what some other councils do. But you can, again, make it as broad or as limited as you want. Depends on how many people you want to show up on particular topics and you're on the, I don't know if you call it a risk, but you could have people speaking on things that are unrelated to anything to do with, it's more about politics,
Right,
those kind of things.
exactly.
And that's,
So to give an idea of what's going on as we're looking at changing some of the council rules, one of the rules that was suggested is that we actually have 2 comment periods, because there is a little bit of frustration where we have the citizen comment period at the beginning, we can't really say anything back, you kind of say your piece, then you sit and wait. Previously, we did council comments at the end. That was great because we had much better options to have it be more of a conversation and discuss these things after, but it also meant that your voice didn't get to be heard before we vote. This is a suggestion to split it, to have a comment section at the beginning where you can talk about what is specifically on the agenda, so you can get your voice in before the vote, and then a post-adjournment 30-minute comment period for the public so that we can answer back and forth. Sometimes it's hard to remember what all the comments were by the end of the meeting, especially the ones that go long. This is not up for vote, this is just a discussion. One of the other ones that, I don't know if it made on there, that I had suggested was to move our petitions and communications up above Committee of the Whole, so that we could put our proclamations, introductions of new city employees, because the Committee of the Whole can become long and have to wait for executive session. Putting it up there would mean that all the presentations happen right at the top, including committee reports, our annual reports, our department and division reports. But again, that's just one of the suggestions.
and Councilmember Hugie, on that portion, you could just take out the language that it doesn't, you can just say concerning the city of Maumee, and just leave out that next line or that rest of that line if you want. If
Sure,
that's a suggestion you want to make.
I don't have a stance one way or the other. I was just looking for more clarification when we say a resident or citizen of Maumee, from the standpoint that I realize people that live in Monclova Township, some of our ordinances don't necessarily affect them, but they have a Maumee address, so are they a resident of Maumee in that regard?
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like, do they live in the city? What's their school district? Yeah. We like to be complicated here in Maumee.
Yeah, and if you just take that out, then it would still cover anything related to business, property concerns, or legislative matters involving the city of Maumee without further defining it, so that's fine too.
Yeah. No, I'm fine with leaving it in. Like I said, it was just more of a clarification, just understanding what the intent was there.
Several years ago, I advocated that the comments be given before we act, because that way they can be heard before we act.
Right.
And so I still feel that that should be the case.
Yeah, and that's why we thought, if we split it up into the 2, then we get right away the information on what we're voting on. And then if we have another section at the end that gives the opportunity to have more of a conversation.
on
Was
other
there-
matters that might not be on the agenda. So the first one is going to be a comment period relating to anything that's on the, up for discussion by council or to be enacted by council.
Any other discussion, thoughts?
Yeah, I actually like the way Alan said that on matters involving business or anything Maumee. I think I prefer that more than just Maumee resident.
Okay.
So it's, a citizen.
Any other discussion on that? Okay. Do we need a motion to close discussion, or do we just move on?
Yeah, just move on.
We'll just move on. Okay.
I mean, do you want to try to finalize them at the next meeting, or you want 2 meetings to get another chance to address them at the next one?
Yeah, I'd like at least one meeting. I'd like to review it a little bit more thoroughly.
Okay, so the next time I'll
Yeah, on just one.
change it, modify it a little bit based on your comments, and if anybody's got any input before the next meeting, let me know. And
Yeah, I
then,
did want to address, I'm sorry, I'll finish.
Yeah. No, that's all right. And then you can vote on it at the second meeting in February. I mean, it's not a super urgent to
Yeah.
act on it right away.
I did want to respond to Councilman Hughey's concerns about who comes here and what they have to say. I want to address something specifically that comes up every time it's walleye season, walleye runs. We have a lot of fishermen that come from all over the country to come to fish in Maumee. And we hear about parking spots and camping, things of that nature. These people are coming from out of town to come here to give us their money. We get it. We appreciate that. But we also have to be conscious of our people that live in the city of Maumee who have to tolerate all of that. And having said that, just how much of outside people who travel here to use Maumee for their entertainment, of course, and, they're thrown into the pot of the tax base for our city, which we operate from. But just how much of this do we want to continuously to hear when it's people who are affected that live in the Maumee, but they're not the ones complaining that we don't have enough parking spots. They're the ones that are complaining that people are using our yards for toilets and beer and garbage and fish guts, and they block them in the driveway. They're blocking driveways. We have documentation. We've had the chief here, gone out and had to do what police.
So is this in reference to
I'm
having to
sorry.
be, I was just curious.
I got out there on the edge. I wanted to, it's the comments in the business part of it, I like that. Then at the end, just how much or how many people are we going to let speak that come here to speak? They don't like this, they don't like that, they don't live in Maumee, but how long are we going to?
It'd be a 30-minute time period
For the entire,
for the second half, total. The same
All
rules
right.
as the first one, but we
oh,
can look at
the
it.
first one is 30 minutes? That's, okay, 15 minutes on one topic. Okay, thank you.
But we can always go back and forth and send suggestions
Okay, thanks.
This is- we
Yeah, I want to
just
read
wanted-
through it some more.
to be able to talk about it,
Yeah.
otherwise we
Thank you.
cannot.
I'll chime in. So on that aspect, Gabe, there are other topics like the data center where landowners were coming in. They don't live in Maumee. They were talking on business for Maumee. So you can't just single out one issue. Open discussion, it should be allowed no matter what it is or where they're from, as long as they're doing business or doing something in Maumee. That's where I like to see it. I know you're going to have an instance where you might not feel that that's appropriate, I don't know, or not appropriate, but just like, you don't like to hear those comments, but comments or anything regarding Maumee should be welcomed, as long as it's in a professional, for a meeting. So
Well,
that's-
typically, it hasn't been professional.
So this is basically a discussion back and forth, and if you want to constrain
Yeah.
citizen comments to actual citizens versus anybody who is coming to discuss the business of Maumee. So people who aren't citizens would be our neighbors who have Maumee addresses, but perhaps Monclova jurisdictions or Springfield Township, landowners who do business here, et cetera. So I would caution to be careful about how much we constrain it, but I do take your point that some of it can be.
More being cautious about it.
Yeah.
Not necessarily restraining, but cautious and maybe shortening up times.
Yeah, and that was a big reason to do the second
It was
post
a
one.
good thing that was sent out, thank you.
I just want to clarify, I'm not trying to keep anyone from talking. That was
Too late, I already blame you.
I just wanted, I just, for that exact
Yes.
reason, I mean, I didn't
What does
wanna
that mean?
necessarily limit it to who can and cannot talk. I was just curious more in general, when we say residents of Maumee, or, you know, citizens of Maumee or residents of Maumee, who exactly is, you know, would that allow to talk, speak, and who would it not allow to speak, if anybody? Because I do believe, and I agree, that even if somebody doesn't live in our community, there are decisions that different communities make that will affect everyone in the surrounding area. So there are times that those residents should have some say or some input on what's going to happen. Obviously, with the city of Toledo, for example, they can make decisions that really can have a big impact on the surrounding communities, even though we don't have a say within their community on certain issues. So that was really my whole point, was just truly understanding what was included in that.
Great, well, let's, over the next week or so, read through them, see if there's anything you want to change, send them on to our law director, if there's anything you have questions or clarification on. It's not a super urgent matter, but it would be nice to update some of those to make things run a little bit more smoothly. Okay, so now we have, under new business, 10C now, which is to authorize the mayor or designee to enter into a 5-year renewal of the current agreement with Republic Services at the rate of $14 per month with an annual increase of 4%, and sign any agreement related thereto with Lucas County Solid Waste Management. So who wants to go first?
We have to make a motion a second, I think, correct, before we talk about it?
No, that's just for the consent calendar
But this would need a motion to
to
approve
pass.
that.
Yeah, this is just the discussion part of it, because I know that everybody has a lot to say.
So we need a motion to discuss this?
No, if you want to make a motion to approve it first.
Yeah, then you have to-
second,
then
and
discussion.
a discussion on it, right?
Yeah, I think we can have discussion beforehand, I
You
believe.
have to second it, something, I believe, to discuss it.
Yeah, generally, we would do a motion second, and then discussion, then a vote on the motion after the discussion.
Okay.
I move to authorize the mayor or designee to enter into a 5-year renewal or current agreement with Republic Services at a rate of $14 per month with an annual increase of 4%, and sign any agreement related thereto with Lucas County Solid Waste Management.
I'll second Mr. Barrow's motion.
A. Now who wants to
Yeah.
discuss?
Call the roll.
All right, so
Oh.
can we get a rundown as to what exactly is going on?
Sure. Okay, so everybody knows that we've been talking about that the refuse collection contract is up. Last year, we had a lot of talk about it, discussion about it at council meetings. We also sent out a survey about what types of services, where we had, I think, a little over 200 people respond to that survey to kind of give us that citizen input so that we would know what to look for. I believe that was done in October and was open until December, maybe? It was open maybe through November. So we had a month where we had that coming in, and looked at some of those. Our original plan was that we are going to send out a request for proposals to see what types of services could come in. Now, the thing is, we had an opportunity to meet up with Republic to do an extension. And I don't know if some of you remember the last several council meetings when we've been discussing the potential refuse, is that it would mean a very large increase in costs, which would eventually mean, and probably sooner rather than later, to start charging our residents a fee, most likely on their water and sewer bills, extra. We were expecting it to go up quite a bit. For reference, Toledo's just went up about 60%. They went from $11.50 to $18.50 that residents pay on a monthly basis. Right now, the residents of Maumee do not pay anything on their trash at all. It all comes out of the property and income taxes, that general fund. Now, when we had this opportunity and they came to the table wanting to keep Maumee at a less than 10% increase, this is something that we would have to commit to before sending out for competitive bidding. With the low increase, what that means is that we can stave off that potential extra charge for longer. Because right now, again, my main goal for residents is to make sure that it stays as affordable as possible. And what's funny about that, when we talked about that, that day, my trash also didn't get picked up. Not kidding, like, I swear, that same day. And then my neighbors called, and they picked up my neighbors and not mine. We're aware of the issues. We are working with them. It is a process. But the reason why I was comfortable with recommending this, knowing and seeing how much everyone else is paying. If you look at Harrisburg, Bowling Green, Toledo, Sylvania, pretty much everyone else pays a monthly fee on their trash. For us, it would probably be quarterly, meaning that your water and sewer bills, which also just went up in January, would potentially go up another $50 or $60. This was the way that I could see to make sure that, yes, we have work to do on the service, but we'd keep the same service. It'd still be weekly. It's the service that we know, that we have a relationship with and can work with them without having to charge our residents, because that's my main goal. If council wants to talk about some of the other options that we have or doing the request for proposals, that is up to them. My goal was to make sure that any time that we can avoid charging residents for anything, I want to go that route.
Thank you. I agree with Mayor Zisk. We had attended a meeting with the Republic some time ago, and they have new people in place and I spoke, Paula, directly to them about, I called up. Now, the lady was very, very polite and courteous on the phone, but I told them, here's some of the problem. When you call and say, hey, my garbage didn't get picked up, they will come and pick up your garbage and pass 40 cans on your street and keep going. So they're making some inter-office changes so they take care of that. We talked about recyclables. Do we need them every week, every other week? And the saving was so insignificant, it wasn't worth not being able to recycle. You know, we don't recycle, we recycle a whole lot, but it takes 2 weeks or 3 weeks for us to even fill a can. And the garbage is like a bag and a half a week, maybe. So there's pockets where some people are going to get more of their service, but as Mayor Zisk said, that we looked at the pros and the cons and the expenses, and the proposal that you're seeing in front of you is a very good deal, and that's why I'm supporting it. Thank you.
And we did look into bulk pickup once a year, twice a year, potentially doing a roll-off. But again, all of those are extra charges, and those would also go up that 4% a year. That's why my recommendation was to go without it, because a lot of people also don't use the bulk pickup. I would use it because I always have trash to throw out, but I didn't feel right, again, passing that charge on when I know how tight everything is.
Yeah, so my thing on the bulk pickup is that I know it is always available for the stickers we bought, but they are expensive. They're $10 for one, 3 for $25. And that's just to throw out one single item. Now, if we had a bulk pickup, a spring and fall, I'm not sure if I can talk about the numbers wise.
Well, they only proposed one bulk pickup a year.
One, yeah.
Multiple ones, and then otherwise it would be a trash roll-off event where people would have to bring their items.
Well, that was another option.
To a location. Right?
That was just another option, not just two bulk. And then if someone wants to do the sticker for a bigger item, they can still make it available. Because a lot of communities around this area all have bulk pickup, and we don't. We only have one sticker for one item.
Mm-hmm.
You're paying $10 to get rid of a mattress. That costs and then also, if we were to do a bulk, what stipulations would there be? I know Toledo just changed theirs, but other communities don't have the same stipulations as Toledo because they abused it profusely, and a lot of blight and eviction. So we don't have that percentage like they do for that kind of stuff. So I think we would use it responsibly. And at the rate that we've talked about, it would really be in like a small amount. It wouldn't be a big amount. It would be something that would only be
Yeah, it would
Small
be
portion.
about an extra, over the life of the contract, about an extra $83,500 total.
For 5 years or just 1 year?
That's for the 5 years.
Yeah.
It also, that includes because the cost increases, but it also doesn't include the fuel surcharges that we pay separate from that. And again, that is an option, we could do it, but we are getting very close to the point.
Yeah, so my other
To-
question
to
was, when is our contract up?
In June, but we'd have to put out a request for a proposal, or we'd have to offer a franchise out to somebody and let them bill the residents separately. There's a couple different options, but like I said, from the research we've done, you're not going to get
Yeah.
a number like this, so.
And I actually, I like the contract as it sits. I just want to make another option for citizens to have that bulk pickup, because it's something that people, if a bunch of people have said, I've reached out to a bunch of people, a lot of them said that they would prefer to have at least one, if not two, with the stickers available. So that's where, and also, by what date should we at least figure this contract out, have it submitted to Republic if we go forward with that, before it's too late to put the RFP?
Well, that's the end of this month.
At the end-
It's
I think we're
basically
already
today.
there.
They pushed the RFP back like 3 times already, so.
Okay. So, yeah, I wasn't aware of that because we just started talking about it last week. I mean, no, I mean, like, as in me on council.
Correct.
I was never in any discussion before this and had no idea what was going on on this side of the aisle. So therefore, and that's,
And this is all pretty new. This was us planning on doing that RFP,
yeah.
and it was a quick thing, probably because there has been so much information out, and that's when Republic came sometime about halfway through December, and then we had, of course, 2 weeks of holidays, and then you all got sworn in that 5th, which is when
Yeah,
we
yeah.
first discussed it and let you know what was going on. But it moves very, very quickly, and I'm sure it's
Yeah, so
an advantage.
would I need to make amend a motion for that or just? Okay, I got it.
Casey helped us out down here.
Yeah, so, but I, as just voicing the discussion, I prefer to do a bulk pickup at least once a year, to amend this, to allow for that, just so we have more service to the citizens. Depending on costs, obviously.
Well,
and
that's
where
what
we-
I was gonna
and where we-
ask.
And where we delegate it to.
Are you okay then with charging our
So-
residents?
So that if it was the numbers that we talked, then it would be, if it was only that small amount per month or per quarter, I think it'd be sufficient enough.
Be per month.
They're charged monthly, but it would be go quarterly or whatever.
But the city's paying for it.
Right.
It's another $83,000 to the residents.
hold on.
No, we're talking about if we were to
Okay,
the same
remember,
service.
one at a time,
Yeah.
please, and Dave's had his hand up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Councilman Peppelmeyer, sorry.
All right. So, Finance Director Harkey. So if we add the bulk pickup, okay, and looking at the survey, 83% of our respondents said that bulk pickup was either very valuable or somewhat valuable. So yes, the input has been given on that. How close does that put us to having to start charging our residents for trash on their own? If you can answer that, if that makes
I
sense.
can't answer that.
No? Okay. All right.
No, I mean, it's just a question of how much does council want to absorb in the general fund? Like Mayor Zisk said, the general fund supports police, fire, public service, all of that. So just a little over 800,000 right now. With the 4% annually, by the end of the contract, it'll be over $1 million. So it's just how much is council willing to absorb?
If we go by what you're saying, it's $3 extra a month, which now puts it at $17 a month per household, correct?
No. It was on there as a quarter more per month.
Right, not including the increases or the fuel surcharges. So
That's
we'd
the-
have to do that.
Yeah.
It's cost.
Yeah.
He's had his hand up.
Thank you. Dave, how many people turned in their polls? Do you have that?
277.
277 people.
Yes.
We're a city of over 5,000 residents, right? Or 5,000 houses, I'm
It's
sorry.
10, like we're
Yeah.
Picking up trash at 5,100 places.
5,100 households. And again, the number of people who responded was how many?
277.
277. So 83% of 277 people says we want a bulk pickup.
But also, I'd add that at the last voting, there was only 2,000 out of the, how many registered voters we have to vote for people like us to be up here. Not everyone does does that, because they don't know about it, they don't see it. That's why
I have a question, is that, we did discuss this the last two council meetings, where we were talking about which way we want to go. That email was wrapped up after the last executive session. Is that change still on the table?
I would just have to reach out to them and find out if
Okay.
they're willing to do that at this point. If they're not, then they're not.
Go ahead.
Okay. I'm a numbers guy, so I had spreadsheets built out on this and several different housing counts and everything. I have a whole page, a book for everyone if they're interested. But looking at, I realize and recognize, and I've thrown this around for 5 days, my family's tired of hearing about it. I truly understand the situation that our residents are under financially, and I do commend the mayor and the administration for trying to keep costs down as much as we can. For me, and when I was running and everything, based on my views, garbage is one of the basics that I feel government should be providing to its residents. Based on the numbers that I was running, and they're not, I'm sure they're not perfect, but I think they're in the ballpark, and everything that I was looking at, I would advocate for at least one pickup. As Councilman Peppelmeyer mentioned, we've have 83% of the respondents that responded to the survey indicate it's something they're interested in. Talking to residents over the last year, it was a major topic that a lot of people were talking about. I don't necessarily think we have to go with two. I think this is where we as a government have to kind of compromise. I would like to go for one. When I look at the decisions that have been made over the last several years, as far as what we're willing to spend on, we seem to have had no problem with over $4 million in change orders for the Uptown project. We had, to no fault of anybody up here, but the city was forced to cover $700,000 for change orders related to the Uptown redevelopment that were paid for before they were even approved.
And I do want to point out, those are capital.
Sure, I realize that. And we have a lot of events or movements throughout town that we just automatically throw tax money toward. That, as I talked with residents, this is the type of situation where where government, in my opinion, we need to work more on finding grant money to cover other expenses, to free up money within our budget to cover stuff like this. Kind of going for as a compromise, I feel that we should go with the one pickup a year. I know not everyone's going to be happy with that. People are going to be upset that we go with one as opposed to two. Others are going to be upset that we go with any at all. But this has been a topic that's been discussed in this community for a long time. And this, to me, personally, is something, whether I use it or not, I don't know. But this is something that it's just constantly talked about as the bulk pickup. And, obviously it would have to be negotiated with Republic as to what is included in bulk pickup.
Yeah, but here's, and this is all, I wish we talked about it a little bit more in executive, but we're kind of at the end of the line. We can either essentially make an amendment to say, let's do it with the bulk pickup. We could do it as is. We could do nothing and do the RFP. But we're on a pretty tight time schedule, and I hate to do that because, you know, I'm one of the people who complains about making decisions fast. But this is one of those situations where we only had a few weeks to begin with, and it was mostly because we have to put out. If we don't, then we go in with the RFP. So those are the options available. Would you say that's correct?
Correct.
Okay. Wait, hang on.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, so if we can have Alan ask them what bulk pickup dignifies what bulk pickup is, and not what other, like, what they would say if it's a true bulk pickup, put everything to the curb, or if it's a short list or a list of things that it has to be this size, this weight. You know, I would prefer it to be a true bulk pickup, if he can ask for that. And then if we can just do a special meeting, I guess, if it comes back in the next couple of days, ask for a special meeting so we can get it done before the end of the month. So that we're asking more questions so that we can get, that's where I'm at.
Now, when we had talked about this previously, we talked about what that might look like and what that might mean. We got the cost for it, I guess, is that bulk pickup is not a true unlimited pickup. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a quarter, essentially. But
Right. I think generally they pick up household rubbish and garbage bags or cans of less than 40 pounds per bag or can, furniture, appliances, TVs, mattresses, box springs, bicycles, carpet that are rolls of less than 4 feet wide and by 18 inches in diameter, rolled and tied, taped, wood that is no longer than 4 feet in length and tied in 40-pound bundles with all nails, screws
Just regular
removed.
bulk.
And then any appliances have to have a certification that the freon's been removed.
Yeah, so that's a regular bulk pickup, not a restricted like they're doing in Toledo right now. So,
So could we, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Thank you. So could we just amend the motion to give Alan the authority to see if that is still, if what we believe to be, which was a nominal increase on your monthly bill or quarterly bill, however it's going to be charged.
You could just authorize the mayor to enter into an agreement with Republic for that service with one bulk pickup.
Okay.
And then if they do it, they do, and if they don't, we're going to have to come back and
yeah, that's the thing is, because now this has been made very public, and that is not necessarily a deal that they would have given. They might not have given that to somewhere else. That could be an issue.
Alan, do you know if Republic offers the service, I have a washing machine I have to get rid of. I could buy a ticket or a sticker, whatever, and get rid of it. But I wonder if Republic has a service where I call Republic, and I got a washing machine. Can you come and get it? And they'll charge me $9, $10.
I think they work off the tag system and you have to pay for it. I mean, there's people recyclers that'll pick that up in 15 minutes if you put it out.
If it's that, you're good to go.
You put it on Glendale, it'll be gone in 6 minutes. It has metal on it.
But that's right now, you buy the tag, and then whenever you have something ready to
Okay,
go out,
yeah,
you just call them.
yeah, but the bulk would not be, say, every second week of May or something. It would be,
No, it would be one time a year.
Okay.
You don't get to pick.
okay.
They would pick a date, they're going to do it.
What are the chances, if we come to this, that they just decide we're not going to do it? I mean, is that something we want to risk? To where all of a sudden now we'd
That's-
have to put it all out to
yeah.
bid, where we're now going to pay $20 a month or $18 a month?
That'll be up to you guys. We don't know the actual odds of them just saying, nope.
yeah.
That's part of the problem.
Did they come to us first with
Yes.
that offer?
Yes.
So I can't
I
believe
would
it.
think it would be good, but I can't guarantee it.
Yes. But it was specifically on a time limit.
Right.
And we're,
Yeah, this has to be done tonight.
but,
Okay, so getting back to, again, the root deal. Paula, to address your concern about quality, okay? So I did ask our law director about, can we put a provision in there saying that if the quality is still not great, can we back out? And so basically Alan told me that there's a base clause in there saying that if we complain about certain things, they have an opportunity to fix them. Okay? So, Matt, you mentioned that they have a new manager there that is making strides in, again, addressing the service issues, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so again, it's getting worked on. They have new people there. I'm inclined to let them, give them a shot, right? If it falls off a cliff, yes. Can we back out? And I'm sure there would be, unfortunately, legal stuff involved. We could, okay? But again, to what Councilman Hughey said, I don't want to increase anything in this community cost-wise that we can possibly do. And so a bird in the hand is worth a lot in the bush, I think, at this point, because we have no idea what these costs are going to be if we don't take this deal, okay? And again, like Alan was saying, now that this is out, they may say, hey, basically you told everybody about what we were going to do for you. It's off the table, right? They could do that. So bulk pickup, and again, if we do it now, I think Finance Director Harking had mentioned this in somewhere, that price could go up a lot in the next 5 years. And so now we've been doing bulk pickup, and so now we're going to take it away because it's going to cost too much. So there are a lot of factors involved. I think at this point, listening to conversation and everything, I would be against the possible huge increases of that bulk pickup. But one thing that I do want to see, and I've mentioned this, is right now you can only get the stickers at Churchill's. And I never go to Churchill's. So if we can get the stickers in more places for people that do want to get some items picked up, I think we as a city can make that a lot easier. But again, I don't want any more costs going up as humanly possible. And as everybody's gotten their first water bill of the year, with that next increase in our sewer costs, it's not going to get better. So we need to keep costs down as much as humanly possible.
So at this point, we're kind of down to brass tacks here. So we could either say one way or another. Right now, there is the motion and the second. So they could either go through with that and vote it in or vote it down. Vote it down.
One more question, Mayor.
Okay.
Thank you. Just to clarify, because we were having a little sidebar over here. So we authorize you to go into agreement with them as it is, and we know the cost to be $14 a month, which the city's still paying. If we include the bulk pickup, one bulk pickup, that adds 25 cents or so, the city still pays the entire amount of that, correct?
So that is something that we'd have to double check in the operating budget. There's already been a lot of talk about, even with where we are at our current costs, that we're getting to the point where we might have to start charging.
I understand that. Okay.
But yeah, so.
So that's to be another discussion then with Jennifer, is that right?
Yeah, that'll be up to you when we come to operating budget time. We're hiring some of the things that come out of the general fund. We've got a ton of personnel coming in, including more that are wanted by some of our safety department. We have administrator coming in. We have a lot of personnel. We're getting to the point where we have to really make decisions on how much we want to save and how much we want to spend. So that's what we're looking at. Now, we could, for the foreseeable future, absolutely decide on that operating budget and say, yep, we'll just keep absorbing that cost. But I would hate to I don't want to get to the point where we go, just kidding, we can't absorb it anymore, now everybody has to pay. That's kind of where I was at with that recommendation.
Well, I call the question.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So that means we vote.
Casey?
Let's call the roll.
Barrow,
Yes.
Gonzalez,
No.
Hughey,
No.
Kurt,
Yes.
Popplemeyer,
Yes.
Sund,
Yes.
Barcy.
Yes.
Motion passed. Okay. Do you want to make a motion to check into that? But now I'm still authorized to do that?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to.
There you go.
Yeah, for you to, the mayor, to check with Republic if what the cost would be for that one bulk, if it's still available.
And to sign it if it is.
And to sign if it is, yeah.
Okay. Anybody want to second that?
I'll second.
Andy, was that you?
I think it was you. Councilman Hughie.
Okay. Barrow,
Yes.
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Hugie,
Yes.
Kurt,
Yes.
Popplemeyer,
Yes.
Sund,
Yes.
Barcy.
Yes.
Okay. Now we can move on to mayor and council comments. Couple of things first. I do know that it is frustrating when some of these negotiations are done behind closed doors. We did try to get a lot of citizen input. I know a lot of us have been talking, and we've been talking about the possibilities in executive session with the residents. My goal, as always, is to keep costs as low as possible, knowing that Toledo's just went up about 60%, and seeing what everybody else and what all the other, again, not just their cities, but their residents are paying, really made me want to make sure that we get the best deal possible. And this is how we know we get the best deal possible. And now we have the two options. I'm willing to talk to anybody else about that a little bit more, about why I wanted to go that way and make that recommendation. But it is what I think is in the best interest of making sure that costs stay down. I will tell you that I will be one of the ones calling Republic, because I'm not sure that my trash got picked up this time yet either. But I'll find out, and we'll be making calls, because you can imagine that's not the best look. Second, I did want to talk about a little bit the last meeting we did enact a Parks and Recreation Advisory Commission, and we are looking for people who are interested in serving on on that board. We'll put out a call for interest tomorrow. If you're interested in recreation and activities, et cetera, please sign up and be a part. There will be more opportunities for citizen involvement going forward. But, just as we go through council and try to get our business done, do some other things. Lastly, for me, some of you may have seen, we have been talking about doing our first ever Maumee River Walleye Festival. We met with Mario from the Bait Shop. We met with, who was it from Dave's Running/Run Toledo to do an actual walleye run. We've got the Chamber and MUBA and city staff all working on ways to get that out. Next steps on that is we'll shore up an official date and look for other ways to have some more citizen involvement, to welcome the fishermen, and to really make it known that we are the place to come for walleye fishing. Okay, who's next? That would be Councilman Barrow.
Thank you, Mayor Zest. Dino and Yana, boy, what a long lineage they've had at their restaurant there. I wish Dino was still here, because I wanted to tell him I was going to miss dining and dashing on occasion. Yeah, you can't do it on Dino. He's got his eye on you all the time. Congratulations to the new proprietor there. That's going to be nice to still be able to go in there. Kind of like when the Andersons left, it's like, now what do we do? What do we do now? So I'm really happy about that. That was it. Thank you very much.
Councilman Gonzalez.
And I'll piggyback Councilman Barrow about Dino's. I'm not a breakfast person. Yeah, I don't really eat there a lot. I would go there with my wife and just get like a BLT, but she has been going there since she was a kid, getting the chili mac. I asked Dino about this about 6-7 months ago, and he told me that Yana makes it. Yana makes all of that. That's her recipe. I don't know if it's going to be handed down to Rosario when he takes it over, but if they don't, my wife's going to miss it. Another thing would be I put out a post about the garbage over the weekend. The reason why I did that is because I felt that if I didn't ask for citizen input, I would be falling in line with what old council has done for years, where it was always what they thought was best for citizens instead of asking them. Previously, council people would say, they would say, well, no one called me, I have no emails, nothing. Well, it's my responsibility to reach out to residents so I can get their feedback. Everyone's busy. I try to make time for everybody. So I want to get across the board what people want, not what I think is best for them, because I don't know until I talk to them. So that was my reasoning behind that post. Other than that, that's it. Thank you.
Councilman Hugie?
Sure, thank you. First and foremost, I just want to say this morning, as I was grumbling driving to work, I drove past the library and I saw, I believe it was probably our sewer crew out there at 7:30 in the morning in sub-zero temperatures, and my day suddenly got a lot better. Just reminding me how fortunate I was for the environment I work in. But I just want to give a big kudos to our crews, our city crews that are out there at 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, all weather, every single situation that you hate to be in, they're out there working in it. So I just want to give a kudos to them. On the garbage issue, I've looked at so many numbers. I've looked at Sylvania, Perrysburg, Waterville Township, City of Waterville, Swanton, Toledo. I've looked at Oregon, Rossford, what they pay, what they charge, and we are very low compared to them overall as a total budget. Perhaps the examples that I used were not the best, but I do feel that there's areas where we as a government can and need to look for other forms of payment to help ease the burden on a lot of our residents to provide the types of services that many of us come to depend on from our government. I was always raised with the idea of wants and needs, and unfortunately there are certain needs that have to come before our wants. And when I ran for council, that was one of my big things, is trying to advocate for the things that I felt residents needed, as opposed to always going after the things that we want. So I do look forward over the next few years, hopefully working towards finding more grants that will free up the money to help cover some of these costs in this time. Because I agree, it's getting ridiculous with what homeowners and residents are being asked to pay for on a daily basis. Thank you.
Councilman Kurt?
I have nothing, Madam Mayor.
Great. Councilman Peppemeyer?
So to again, piggyback off of what's been said already, yes, we have heard everybody loud and clear about costs in Maumee. We got an email today about the costs that obviously somebody opened their new water and sewer bill, right? So yes, this is where, like Councilman Hughie's saying, we have to make some choices. And we're not going to get everything we want at this point, right? I think we all recognize that. But just know that, yes, we are very conscious about costs here in Maumee. When I campaigned twice, I said, we have a choice to make whether to help our seniors, help people stay here, or make Maumee super pretty, right? And attract young, wealthy people, things like that. Well, this is one area that, yes, we know we need to really tighten that budget belt, which is going to be fun here in the Finance Committee in the next couple of months. But yes, we hear you. We know it's tough. So just know that we're doing everything we can with everybody's best interest in mind.
Councilman Zen?
I would just like to say that Dino and his family will be missed in the city. I hope we get as good of services and as good of food as we've had in the 34 years that he was here. I want to address real quickly the people that have complaints about the sewer, or not the sewer, but the trash pickup. If you see that your trash isn't picked up, called the Republic Service. I put out their customer service line. I was calmly talking to them. I reiterated more than once that it's not just my house, it's the entire street. And the last 2 times that that's happened, the entire streets got picked up. Actually, the last time it went beyond my street, it got all of Monclova Gardens. They came and picked all that up. I know it's frustrating. Again, if there's trash blown about, call, complain. The more people that complain about it, the better it'll make waves at where they're working. You don't have to be, try not to be upset when you're talking to the person, because if you're upset, they get upset. And then it's never a good conversation, but the squeaky wheel gets the grease. More people call and say, I got trash spilled, the better the next time maybe the guy gets out and picks it up. I don't know if they're required to pick it up. I don't know if they're told just to stay in the trucks, but I do understand it's happened on our street. The little bin gets full, they dump, and half of it goes on top and then gets blown off along the road. Not a good situation. Other than that, stay warm. Don't go outside unless you have to the rest of the week. It'll be nasty out there.
Councilwoman Barksey?
Yes, I just want to recognize Mayor Ziss and Alan for their diligence in negotiating for our trash. And appreciate that the citizens won't have to bear that burden right now. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody want to do a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Third, fourth, fifth? Okay.
Barrow,
Yes.
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Hugie,
Yes.
Kurt,
Yes.
Popplemeyer,
Yes.
Son,
Yes.
Marcy.
Yes.
Huh? Oh, we're adjourned.
There you go.
There you go.
Now I can leave.
Now we're.